off a upset victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers in a 33-31 victory over them. And what was surprisingly a really good game. Y'all know we gonna talk about it, break it all down, but you gotta hit the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, football fans? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host, Bobby, joined by Stevo, and we're here to talk about this Bengals versus Steelers Thursday night game. Stevo, what up, though?
That's good.
Man, look, I ain't know it was going to be like this. The Steelers was coming off a bye. The Bengals they looked all right last week. On Sunday when they played, they looked all right, but I did not expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to go, the Cincinnati Bengals, to go out there and have Joe Flacco throw for 342 yards. My man's Jamar Chase have 16 receptions for 161 yards. Joe Flacco did say if Jamar Chase come to the huddle and say, "Hey, throw me the ball," he's gonna throw him the ball. Right now, he looks like the smart man of the night. Stevo, what was your thoughts on this game?
It was just simple as that. They recognized that the weakness on this defense is the secondary, and that's what they attacked them at. When you have two excellent wide receivers on the back end and a quarterback that know exactly how to get them the ball whenever they want, when they want, it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, it's just that simple. Them corners cannot handle nothing. Even when they tried, the linebackers tried to come in to help, they did different type of motions and different type of things to fuck their head up, and they was confused at some point too. And just once them two got rolling, everybody on the rest of the team got rolling. Everybody got comfortable. Everybody believed, even when there was times where it looked like the Steelers were going to come back and score, and possibly it did take the lead. They knew they was going to go back down here, march down the field, and do it exactly what they've been doing all game, and they did just that.
Bro, it was just crazy to see for the Bengals offense. It looked like they got some life back. Now they got some matchups coming up soon, and they're giving themselves a good opportunity. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was one of those people who was like, "Hey, bro, good luck with Joe Flacco." And for the last two games, I'm like, they might have something that they can work with to buy Joe Burrow a little bit more time. And hey, right now, for the first two games that he's played for the Cincinnati Bengals after just arriving last week, he got me looking like the damn fool. I ain't gonna hold you. Again, 342 yards. My man's Jamar Chase, 161 yards. T. Higgins even got 96 yards. And then on the ground, 108 yards. Hey, Steve-O, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, this is not familiar territory for me. They look bad. I know Cam Hayward was one of those guys that was asking for a raise this offseason. He ain't looked too good today. I barely noticed him out there. And yeah, bro, it was just like, I know y'all had TJ Watt out there, but non-factor as well. They pretty much shut him down. He did get a half sack on the game today, but gotta call out Jalen Ramsey. You got worked, bro.
Smoked.
You got worked. There was a time in like the second quarter to where there was like 4 or 5 straight plays to where Jamar Chase was just working out Jalen Ramsey. And if it wasn't Jamar Chase, it was T. Higgins working out Joey Porter and Jalen Ramsey. It was
they were taking turns, but them motherfuckers look like Paul Ludden and Brian Kendrick back in the day. Tag team on my mom.
Bro, it was just nasty work coming into this whole thing for these guys. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro, they could have, if the Pittsburgh Steelers would have won this game, Steve-O, they would have had a 3-game lead over the Baltimore Ravens for the AFC North, right? And John Harbaugh, the head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, said, "Hey, I know the record is what the record is, but I still feel like we can win this division and make it to the playoffs." How you feeling about this Steelers team right now, especially with how porous this defense is?
I'm gonna chalk this up to it was just a bad night. They just got work tonight. You go up against some players, like you said, they ain't like this team is a scrub ass team. This is a very expensive ass team because this is some actual quality players on this team. So I'm not gonna harp on it like most people. Most people in the media is gonna try to harp on it. Oh, they lost to a Cincinnati team without Joe Burrow. Bro, you lost to a fucking NFL MVP candidate and cheap Super Bowl champ and Joe Flacco with two. I won't be surprised Hall of Famers on his goddamn wide receiver core. That's tough. Like against anything, and then especially when they get the growing the way that they did, it's very rare that the passing game opens up the running game in football. That was that their first play, their first option, what they think was going to work always first was a pass play, and it did. And I you just got work tonight. I think the more glaring problem was usually that they wasn't able to eventually stop the run, and that D line wasn't getting to no pressure up the middle, or you wasn't getting. They double teamed the hell out of TJ, and that's what you got to do. Somebody else on that D line got to step up.
I agree with that, and I think that somebody else had to step up for sure. And right now, the Steelers is being, rumors circulating because the trade deadline is just a couple weeks away. And you looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, hey, maybe instead of looking for wide receiver number 2, you might be having to go ahead and look for another pass rusher. Because right now, TJ Watt can't do him by himself. And we got guys like Jalen Phillips for the Miami Dolphins. You got Bradley Chubb from the Miami Dolphins, reportedly may be available. And there could be some other guys out there too. You just got to do your due diligence. Obviously, the GMs are going to know more than us, but you might have to go out there and say the offense might be straight, because even though DK Metcalf didn't have the greatest game, he still had 3 receptions with 50 yards. Pat Fryermuth is a guy who had a hell of a game. If you ask me, 5 receptions, 111 yards, and he made some big time plays when they was trying to come back, and that's how they eventually took the lead, because he did go out there and get 2 touchdowns. So for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's not the end all be all. We know how division games go.
But I will say, DK, you suck. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm sorry, like these the type of games where it proves to me that you not a guy I would have paid all that money to. You're not an X. You got somebody twice as big as you plucking the ball at you for an interception. You get 5 targets today. You only catch 3 of them for 50 yards. Fucking unacceptable. It's fucking unacceptable. Period. Point blank. You let somebody name Fryer, and his name not even spelled like a fucking fryer. And he went the hell off. And he a fucking tight end,
bro.
I'm sorry. Like this is these the type of game you can't sit here and go up against 2 fucking wide receivers and they both go off and you didn't go off at all. You let your teammate, the tight end, go off.
Yeah, that was sad. That's kind of like the thing that we talked about, like over the offseason when we was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and them paying DK Metcalf all that money, but then also trading away George Pickens.
Stupid.
Yeah, we was like, we like DK. He's a freak fucking athlete, but can he carry or help carry an offense when you need him the most? And I have not seen that up until this point. Yeah, we seen spectacular plays from him. Yeah, we seen, chase down tackles, all the spectacular athletic stuff. But when you gotta carry the workload, bro, there's not a number 1 out there that you can hold for an entire game. You ain't doing that to Justin Jefferson. You ain't doing that to Jamar Chase. You ain't doing that to Puka Nacua.
You ain't doing that to T.
You know what I'm saying? Not for a whole game. And again, to your point, 3 receptions for 50 yards and pretty much non-existent for an entire game. Stevo, I think he didn't get his second reception until the third
Third
quarter of the
quarter.
second half.
That's you getting paid way too much, bro. Like that's why I said like it's nothing. I ain't got nothing personal against him, but you're just not as good as people portray him to be. He's just not. You could talk about these highlights. What highlights? Everything this motherfucker did as a professional, I've seen fucking Jeremiah Smith do it in Ohio State.
Mm.
It's freak athletes everywhere. To be
Fact.
honest with you, especially at the wide receiver position, you can't just be a freak athlete no more. At the wide
Agreed.
receiver position, you got to be able to run routes. You got to be able to catch the ball. That's another thing. You got stone hands.
Yeah, bro. And that's just unacceptable, especially coming from a guy that's supposed to be the lead receiver. And then Aaron Rodgers, I can't lie, he had a solid game for the most part. It's just that his defense, they couldn't stop anybody. You know what I'm saying? Defense couldn't stop anybody. And Joe Flacco matched Aaron Rodgers and outplayed him today. So
And he turned the ball over twice.
yeah. So it was just, yeah, you can't do things like that and expect to win a football game. But Stevo, do you think now, after seeing a little small sample size with the Cincinnati Bengals, do you think Joe Flacco can help keep this team afloat until Joe Burrow returns,
I
or if
always
he
felt
returns?
I always felt when they traded for him, I said that's smart because, like I said, the backup wasn't going to be the guy that was going to be able
Yeah,
to
I
keep things
felt so
afloat.
bad.
You get him behind a line that's decent enough, can keep him upright enough, and then we already know that he's a quarterback that gets the ball out quick. You got the wide receivers and the weapons there. If you get the ball out quick, this is the type of performance you're gonna get, and that's the type of anyway. You also have to be somebody that can also gun out there because majority of the time this is gonna have to be results. If it's gonna be a win column for the Cincinnati Bengals, if they not scoring 30 plus, it's gonna be hard to win for them because their defense is just not gonna be able to hold a lot of people.
I agree with that, and I think that one of the plays that Joe Flacco made was, I believe it was in the third quarter, kind of getting close to the fourth, when Jamar Chase pretty much ran a route at the sticks, and the safety bit on Jamar Chase, and he just launched it. Joe Flacco just launched it down the field to their
Mhm.
tight end. That was a hell of a play, and that was a play that you need to win football games. And that's what he was able to go out there and do for the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't even lie. Like I said, bro, I was talking shit. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But hey, a couple years ago, we seen Joe Flacco go out there and help, you know what I'm saying, the Cleveland Browns make it to the playoffs.
I think you
Maybe
can do
he
the
can
same
help
thing.
these guys stay afloat and help them make it to the playoffs as well. It's not out of the realm of possibility, especially with a big win like this. Now, instead of being 2-5, you're 3-4. That helps a lot.
But it's gonna be interesting because they're gonna be able to get their get back, or it's gonna be a rematch after they bye week after they play us. So they
Yeah.
get to play the Steelers again after that.
So that time they'll be on the road, and then we'll see what happens with that. And then they still got, I believe, still got matchup with the Baltimore Ravens as well. So it's going,
Ravens and Bills right after that.
ooh, that's a tough schedule. So we're gonna see if Joe Flacco gonna be able to hold his own. And then the Ravens, they struggling right now. The Bills just lost 2 in a
Patriots
row.
before that.
Yeah, and the Patriots gonna be tough for anybody right now, just to be for the simple fact that Drake May is playing well, and they head coach Mike Vrabel, he just
I ain't
like
gonna
that.
lie. Like November is gonna be tough because, like I said, they gotta play the Jets. Should be somebody they could beat. They gotta play us. Then they get their bye week, come back. That's the Steelers game. After that, they gotta play the Patriots. After that, it's Ravens, Bills, Ravens.
Shit. Oh God.
And then they get a breather for the rest of the season.
Oh God. That's a tough stretch right there, boy. That
Yeah,
is a
so
tough
yeah,
stretch
so
right
that's
there.
why I said going to get Joe Flacco might be up there as one of the best trades this year.
We gonna see what's to it. We gonna see how many games they can pull out. Because the defense, hey, they didn't play their best football, and Trey Hendrickson was not available for them tonight. So that's another, you know what I'm saying, tool that you can have in your bag for your defense to go out there and do something effectively. So we'll see what happens. I think that is going to be interesting to see how these guys push forward and move forward. Because I always say this is right now is like that time to where you start to see teams really show who they are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? September, that's the honeymoon phase. Now shit about to get ugly. Now you arguing, now you fight, now you're trying to figure it out, and then you're gonna determine if you're gonna stick it out and keep it going, or you're gonna set yourself up for that divorce. So it's gonna be interesting to see what teams
Imminent.
rise and what teams fall.
It's imminent.
For sure. We gonna see though, man. But hell of a game from them. And we gonna go ahead and keep y'all updated with a daily episode tomorrow. But Stevo, you got anything left regarding this game, bro?
Mm-mm.
Well, I
It's a salt and pepper bowl. Old ass game.
bro, this the motherfucking the old guy games.
Wow. My mama.
The geriatric bowl.
My
Fuck you
mama.
talking about. The senior
Like,
citizen bowl.
my mama. They said that whoever won this game should got a fat ass chair. My mama.
Facts. Hey, Aaron Rodgers almost threw a Hail Mary touchdown.
No, I'm like, it's still crazy. This nigga finna retire. He still can throw that bitch
Launching that
65.
bitch
I said
in
that
the
bitch.
air.
I said that bitch look good too. That was like,
Real. That
I was like,
motherfucker.
don't. I said, please don't let this big ass DK have a weak ass game and just reach out.
And say today.
I was gonna-
Real.
yeah.
Crazy. But hey, that is it from us today. For tonight. We'll holler at y'all in the morning. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well, man. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football, and y'all already know. We're going to catch y'all on the next one.